What's going on, everybody? And welcome to Ron 2's Motivation and Conversation, where I am your host, Ron Lyles. And it's my job to make you think and motivate you to keep you going, growing, and flowing into a life of a better and more improved you. Yeah, and wherever you're watching me from in the world right now, I say to you, hello. Yeah. And in today's episode is going to be a good one, another good one. Listen, I'm going to be encouraging you to push through it. Push through it. You have to push through it. You have to. You just have to. Listen, and if you like or love anything that you're seeing, any of the content, if I'm saying anything that you can agree with, that you like, that you love, please, ma'am, sir, don't hesitate to hit those subscribe and like buttons and click the notification bell so you can be notified of any brand new content that we put out. All right? Share. All right? But listen, once again, I want to say thank you for watching this broadcast. Now, if you're not following me on my social media handles, please feel free to follow me. They're right below. You can follow me on my social media pages. I would love to have you become a part of my social media family. All right. But now let's dive into this. Push through it. You already know how I do. If you've been following any of my previous episodes, you've been watching me, you know we love to bring out the definitions first. So let's look at the definition of what it means to push. All right. Let's look at it. To push, it means to move forward by using force to pass people or cause them to move aside. It also is a vigorous effort to do or obtain something. I like that. A vigorous effort to do or obtain something. Push, it also means this: to press forward energetically against opposition. To press forward energetically against opposition. Man, I love these definitions. So in other words, you must understand and know that in pushing or in a push to do something, number one, it's going to require something of you. You're going to have to dig a little deeper. You're going to have to exude some strength. You're going to have to dig deep within the surface of yourself. It's going to require something out of you. Now, if you're pushing, you're in the midst of a situation, or you're on the brink of something special, you're on the brink of your next level in your life, you need to know that this push is going to require something out of you. It's going to take some mental fortitude. It's going to require something out of you physically, a lot of you spiritually. It's going to require something out of you, and you're going to have to be ready. You're going to have to be prepared literally to dig deep and push. And a lot of people are being stuck at the point of resistance and being stuck at the point of a push just simply because you haven't tapped into that deeper level yet within yourself. But in order to push, in order to make it, in order to push through to not only your next level, but just a deeper level into your purpose, you're going to have to know that pushing requires something deeper. You're going to have to dig deep. Okay? Now, let's look at point number one here. When we talk about pushing through it, let's look at this. You must understand and know this. You will have resistance or opposition. You will have resistance or opposition. Listen, doing anything substantial in your life, you will have resistance and or opposition. I don't care what it is. If you're doing anything, if you are improving, if you're doing anything to improve, if you're making steps to become better for the betterment of your life, you will have opposition. You will face opposition. You will have some resistance. You need to know this off the bat. But we must understand that in having opposition and having resistance, we need to understand what they both represent. What opposition and resistance represents. Opposition and resistance is never there to destroy you. No. It's never there to destroy you. But opposition and resistance comes to build you. It comes to make you legit in your purpose. If you're facing resistance, if you're facing opposition, it's common. It's not uncommon. It's very common. If you're going to do anything great, if you're pushing to become anything great, anything substantial, you must understand that you will face opposition and resistance. But opposition and resistance is not there to destroy you, but to build you. Watch this. If you've ever torn a muscle, if you've ever sprained a ligament, if you've ever had any type of muscle damage, watch this. In rehab, they don't necessarily always take you to the weights first, but they give you something called resistance bands. In a resistance band, watch this, a resistance band is the natural tension that targets the building of the muscle. If you lift weights too fast after damaging a muscle, if you go to lift that weight too soon, you can damage that muscle even further. But you pick up a resistance band and use the resistance, the natural tension of the resistance band will target the muscle to build the muscle further. So in other words, a lot of you right now that's going through tension, a lot of you right now, your situation, your push right now is causing you tension, it's causing you discomfort, it's causing you all sorts of feelings. You need to know that that tension is not there to break you, but it's there to make you. Yeah, that tension is not there to damage you further, but it's there to build you. Because a lot of you are at the door, a lot of you are at the brink, but you need to understand and realize that even when you're accomplishing your goals, even when you are in the midst of accomplishing your purpose, in the midst of fulfilling your purpose, you will face resistance and opposition on that level. But you can't be at the point where you break every single time you face opposition. No, you have to be at the point literally where you faced enough opposition and you've been shaped and made enough through your push that even if opposition comes, I can still push through. I can still push through. So you need to be like that resistance band, that even though that resistance band is giving us some tension, even though it's giving some tension, you need to understand and know that it's never there to damage you, but it's there to build you and make you stronger. All right? Listen, here's another point. Another point. You cannot move forward unless you push. You cannot move forward unless you push. And if you look at that definition at the front end of that definition again, I like it because it says a push is to move forward by using force. To move forward by using force, to pass or cause people to move aside. But we need to take it further than people. A lot of you need to understand that in order for you to push forward, you're going to have to move some things aside. You're going to have to clear some things out of your pathway. You're going to have to move some attitudes, some issues. I don't care if you have issues of procrastination, laziness, rejection, lethargy, if you're tired all the time, you know, if it seems like you have a lack of balance, lack of trust, fear, I don't care what it is, people, if people is your issue, guess what you're going to have to do? In order to make a strong and successful push, you're going to have to move those things aside, and you're going to have to do it with force. You can't play with this thing. You have to be serious. You're going to have to get to the point where you're not going to be afraid, you're not going to be scared, you're not going to be disenfranchised, but you're going to look those things in the face that's causing you to be stagnant or to causing you to weaken in the midst of your push, and you're going to have to clear the way. I'm talking to y'all. You're going to have to clear the way. You're going to have to move these things out of your way. Some of you are victims of just words that were spoken over you. Some of you, your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your uncle, your auntie, your niece, your nephew, leaders, people that you knew and once loved, people spoke things into your life. Literally, they spoke things into your life, and it seems like right when you get to that breaking point of your push, it's like you hear what they said. You audibly hear what they released into your ears, what they released into your life, the seeds that they released, and it causes you to hunker down or draw back and step away or step off of your push. But no, you need to move that aside. Move that aside. Move that fear aside. Some of you are afraid. Some of you literally are afraid to push forward. You need to move it aside. Push it aside. Some of you are confused. Some of you are at the point where you don't even know what to do with yourself. You don't know whether you're going or coming. But you need to get that push down in you. You need to dig deep and move those things aside. It's going to take a vigorous push. It's going to take an energetic push. You're going to have some vitality and life behind your push. When you're pushing for something vigorously, that means you are pushing with life and vitality. If you're pushing forward energetically, you're not whimpering and whining. No, you are pushing forward with energy because you know that there's something behind my push. There's something on the other side of my push. There's something that I need to get to that's on the other side of the door. Watch this. When we go up the doors, we never look at the door and get discouraged. Why? Because we know that there's something on the other side of that door, that once we open that door, we can get in and get to where we need to be. We're not depressed. We're not discouraged when we know that we have to push through a door. No, we walk up to it and guess what? We push through it. Why? Because we're trying to get to the other side. And that's all you really need to do. That's all you need to look at as far as even in your life. That's all you have to do. Once you get to the door, push through to the other side so you can get to the things that you need to obtain, so that you can get to the things that you need to have, so that you can really grasp and possess those things, that you can obtain those things literally at the other end of your push. You ever heard the term strong as an ox? People say it all the time. Man, he's strong as an ox. She's strong as an ox. Man, they're strong. Do you not know that an ox can carry up to 900 kilograms of weight? Translated to pounds, that's 1,984 pounds of pressure that an ox can carry. You want to know why that is? Because an ox isn't bred to care about circumstances. Are you listening to me, YouTube? An ox is not bred or raised to care or worry about circumstance. All the ox is there to do is work. It's bred and it's trained to work. And so once it's working, when it has its head down, it's not concerned about everything that's going on around it. It's concerned only about pushing what it was bred and trained to carry. 1,984 pounds. The ox is the 7th strongest animal in the world because it understands its push. It understands its push. It knows that I have to keep working until the job is done. I have to keep pushing. And you out there, you have to keep pushing until you push yourself past the brink. Some of you are literally on the brink and you are getting ready to transition from brink to promise. But it's requiring one last push out of you. It's requiring a last push. You're literally at the point of where you want to be. You're at the point of your promise in your life. But a lot of you are almost at the point of backing down and turning away. And you need not do that right now. But you need to push yet again. Push one more time. I want to tell this story. And I know I seem aggressive right now, even more so than my other episodes and segments, but it's because I'm trying to get you to understand the power and the importance of pushing through it. A lot of you are so close, and it's just going to take that one last push to make it on. And so you need to be encouraged and motivated to push. Get that degree, open that business, cut that album, nail that audition. Whatever you have to do, whatever you're doing, you have to make this one last push. Let me tell you the story. I was reading a book, and Pastor Joel Osteen was talking about his experience hiking up a mountain. And he was talking about how he was energetic, he was happy, starting out on his journey, walking up this mountain, climbing up this mountain. He was pretty excited about what he was trying to do. Ultimately, his ultimate goal was to make it to the top of the mountain. So as he's going, he's seeing signs telling him what point of the mountain that he's at, telling him where he's at. But he said eventually in his walk, he started to get tired. He started to get weary. And he got to a point in his height where he started not seeing signs. He couldn't see the signs anymore. He couldn't see the little walking points, the little landmarks telling him where he was in this mountain. So he said he began to get slightly discouraged. And he got to a point where he stopped. And he began to contemplate whether he should turn around, whether he would turn around. And he said while he was at the point of doing this, he literally was getting ready to turn around and give it up. Say, hey, I've reached a great point in the mountain. I'm ready to pack it in. But he said, as he was thinking this, he said he heard footsteps. He looked up. It was another hiker coming down the mountain. It was an older gentleman. And he said the man saw him, and he said he looked up on his face, and he said the man began to smile and tapped him and said, keep going. You're closer than you think. He said right after the man did that, he said literally it's almost like a newfound energy bursted within him. And literally minutes later, he was at the top of that mountain. Now just think, had he turned around in the midst of that push, he would have never made it to where he wanted to be. And a lot of you are just like Joel. You're just like him. You're at the point now of your push where you're tired. You're at the point now of your push where you're weary. You're at the point now of your push where you just don't feel like going on. But if you can find that one last push, if you can muster up energy yet again to push again, to believe again, to push through it, literally, you all are closer than you think. And you will find yourself at the top of that mountain in your life. Exactly right where you want to be in your purpose. But you got to push through. Push through that pain. Push through all the emotions attached with it. Push through it. You got to do it. All right? Listen, I thank you all for tuning in to this segment. I thank you all. Thank you all, those that's been watching me. Thank you so much. And I hope something was said. And I hope something possibly was done that will make you really want to push through it. You can do it. All you have to do is push through it. All right? Listen, I love y'all. And I'll see y'all again on another Ron 2's Motivation and Conversations broadcast segments. All right? I look forward to seeing you all again soon, where we'll be talking about something else. But you better believe it's going to motivate you and get you to a place where you can believe in yourself. All right? See you soon.